where you guys are opting out of dating and you reserve all of your dating for when you book your flight and you come overseas. And then a lot of dudes will say, you know, some of these hating dudes, I realize it's all hate because that's really the only thing that makes sense. Like, well, you couldn't get any girls in the States. So because you couldn't get any girls in the States, that's why you're flying around and you're going here and you're going there, because the girls don't want you in America. So you coming to where these desperate girls are at. When in reality, it's much deeper than that. If you're somebody who's visiting Colombia, you don't live here, you don't spend a long amount of time here, there's nothing like Colombia in the world, because I know what you guys are going back home to. You're going home to these obese whales, hippopotamuses, elephants with entitlement issues, you know, hygiene problems. You're not really going home to find shit. And then when you go home to find shit got a bunch of on her body. Like, she got a bunch of dudes willing to take her out, do this, do that. So, or you guys just don't want to deal with the stress of a woman. It's not even the fact that you can't get a woman or you can't get a woman that you like the way she looked, but you guys just don't want to deal with that stress of, oh my gosh, me and her are sleeping with each other. Now I have to provide all these things for her, or I have to give her so much of my time, or, you know, I have to do X, Y, Z, even though I don't even really know if I would want to be with this chick. I just want the low commitment of traveling, coming to meet some women, you feel me, and kind of just. So what I realize a lot of you guys default to, right, is you guys basically remain sexless until you come to Colombia. And when you come to Colombia or you go to these other countries, that's when you start, you know, doing your thing. That's when you start actually indulging in sex, because you feel like it's only worth it if I don't have to invest too much. And I'm not really mad at that. I think that's something a lot of men are going to opt into doing, where instead of, you know, I need some consistent buns 3 to 4 times a week, y'all kind of on some shit like, yo, I'm going to stay celibate and I'm going to travel every couple months. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call off work. I'm going to use my vacation days. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now what I see that a lot of men, and it's, you know, it's not most men, but it's a growing number of men, right? Where you guys are opting out of dating and you reserve all of your dating for when you book your flight and you come overseas. And then a lot of dudes will say, you know, some of these hating dudes, I realize it's all hate because that's really the only thing that makes sense. Like, well, you couldn't get any girls in the States. So because you couldn't get any girls in the States, that's why you're flying around and you're going here and you're going there, because the girls don't want you in America. So you coming to where these desperate girls are at. When in reality, it's much deeper than that. It's more so the fact that a lot of guys are losing by dating women in the States, right? You getting a girl, you knocking a girl up in the States and you have a good job will almost indefinitely put you on child support if she does not have a good job. You knocking a girl up overseas, you just need to just have access to PayPal or Western Union and she's pretty much good. You don't have to ever worry about that becoming something that you have no control over. You're getting more femininity. You're getting more access. You're getting a bunch of things where it's kind of like, as a man now, if men are given the option, they're basically saying to themselves, hey man, if I don't have to date in the States, why would I? Now, I still think you should date in the States. I think you should date everywhere you go. But for those of you guys that's a little bit older, in your mid-20s, going into 30 and 40, I'm really not mad at y'all when y'all make that decision where y'all like, yo, bro, I did everything I could in the States. I had my baby mama. I had the divorce. I had this. I had that. I don't want to go through that again. I'd rather just come overseas where I know I have more leverage, kind of have my way, and then go back to the matrix and, you know, do this again in 3 months, right? I'm going to just put my head down, stack my money. In fact, I would even argue that a lot of you guys that come overseas, experience this lifestyle and go back and make you want to put your head down and work even harder. You're thinking, yo, how can I make more money so that what I was doing in Colombia, DR, Thailand is something that I could do constantly, right? So I get it, and I'm not mad at it, right? Some of you guys have opted into the idea of, listen, bro, I'm paying regardless. If I gotta pay, I'm gonna pay, right? For me, I'm somebody, I like the efficiency of dealing with women. I don't want to deal with a woman that now I'm not efficient, right? I don't like the idea of paying for it, but I don't care about that. Like, that is a mentality I think weak niggas try to put themselves in to make their confidence higher. Like, oh, I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to feel like I paid for it. Like, I'm like, yo, bro, you're always paying for it. In fact, what you're telling me is that your money, your little $50 is more valuable than your lifespan, because the amount of energy and time you're going to put into courting some chick just so you could try to get some pussy, because that's really all you're going for. You're not actually trying to build with this woman. Nothing isn't worth nothing, right? The problem is when you guys start taking these short-term flings and you start trying to make them a long-term situation. That's where I think you guys fuck up as men. So let me just give you a prime example, and I'll use my life, right? When I'm in the States, specifically when I was in college and when I was in Florida, because these were the two times in my life I was probably having the most hookup sex ever, right? Was in college and when I lived in Florida. The dating apps in Florida, it was so easy to get pussy. All you needed to do was just open up an app, swipe, talk to a chick. And I get to the point. Once a girl start dangling the coochie over my head like it's a carrot, I'm not going for that shit. I'm like, yo, dub, next. Like, I'm going for the chick that want to pull up right now and get to it. Like, I bet, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I'll be in Florida on these dating apps, and I always know the chicks that's going to let you bust it down in one night, she probably does this to multiple guys, because what they typically do is they ghost you after that shit, right? Like, they ghost you, or y'all keep it on just like a sexual fling where you guys are going to mess with each other. And really the only time you guys see each other is when you want to basically touch each other's private parts. Like, that's really it. Like, outside of that, you really not doing a dinner dates because you already done busted her down. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was for me in Florida. And that was me in North Florida. I'm sure Central Florida and South Florida is probably crazier, right? Like, you just match with a girl on Tinder, she horny, whatever she going. So that I kind of look at coming overseas like being that Tinder, being that Bumble, being that Hinge, where it's like, okay, a lot of these chicks, they're going off the fact that I have money. Now, that might not be like prime example. I had the villa over this past homies weekend. A lot of chicks was going just because I was the birthday boy. It's like, oh, this nigga got money. We in this big ass mansion. There's a pool. A lot of them didn't even need the bread. They like, yo, fuck the bread. You feeding me. I'm getting drunk, whatever. I'm in your big ass king bedroom here, nigga. I'm gonna give you some pussy. That's cool. But at the end of the day, I paid for all that shit. So it wasn't like, oh, nah, she's just going off the vibe because this is my lifestyle. Stop it. All of us would live in a cardboard box if there was a PlayStation, a TV, and a fucking computer. The reason why we go and we get the nice spot and do all this other shit is because we want the pussy. So it's like, when you start trying to convince yourself that you're not paying for it, like, nah, I'm actually doing this for just me, you're going to start noticing when you do a lot of shit for just you and only you, right? The pussy don't just immediately fall into your lap like that. I'm just going to be honest. Like, yeah, does it come along at some point? Absolutely, right? If you keep doing you stay focused, the right girl going to come along. But before that right girl come along, you're sexless, bro. You're not getting any box. Let's be for real. You're like, yo, bro, just lock it in the gym, bro. Just go to the gym, work out. Yes, you going to the gym is not magically going to make six to seven bitches pop up. You're going to have one chick might pop up and like that you going to the gym, and you're going to start talking to her. But nigga, you would have been so deprived of puss by that point in time, you're willing to take anything down. Trust me, all you, yo, bro, I'm celibate, I'm focused ass niggas. Y'all be the ones that as soon as you get the opportunity to get some pussy, y'all niggas be crashing out. Y'all be crashing out. Because You ain't have a clear line of thought. I don't think you should be holding your shit in while you building. I think you gotta release every here and there, right? I think you gotta release, because when you are so tense, the first chick that look like, sometimes your brain to convince you like, yo, bro, she's a good one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Whole time she not a good one. You're just horny. But you're like mentally horny. Like you're not even physically horny. You're mentally pushing for that release. Trust me, every time I have gone celibate, when I would break my celibacy, it was always with a bitch I had no business being around. Now I make clear decisions on the kinds of girls that I'm going to keep in my life because the coochie is so abundant. And this was one of the things that I was talking about my very earlier podcast on this channel, was like, man, what's the word I use for it? When you have desert dick, you don't make good decisions, bro. You just don't. It's good that you focus. It's good that you locked in. I'm not saying you gotta, be like a HomiesHub and have pussy, coming out the faucet, but you should be able to always have something on call where you can make clear, linear decisions that are absolutely not based on sex. So I encourage y'all to come overseas and indulge in this shit and know this shit is always going to be here. They're saying a bunch of men in America are sexless. I don't really believe that. I don't believe men are sexless. I just think a lot of men are opting to not have to invest so much energy into women that are basically normalizing being prostitutes. I think that's all it is. They're normalizing being prostitutes and they want you to be the payer. But at the end of the day, they're reserving their love and affection and everything else for the guy that either touches them emotionally or boosts their ego, right? And us men, we're saying we don't want to play that game. Now, when I go back to the States now, I know some of you guys be like, yo, why don't you do the couch live streams in the States? Well, number one, I'm not putting personal women in my life on stream. I think that's like self-explanatory. Number two, I don't spend enough time in the States for me to be bringing girls on stream in the States. Like, you guys already know the States is different, right? Me telling a girl to come on stream and come talk to a bunch of passport bros, travel bros. Where do you think that conversation is going to go? You think you're going to have an enjoyable stream with a girl full of energy, shaking a little bit of ass and twerking? You might have that if she's a total slore, but she's probably going to be arguing with you guys about why you guys are coming to these countries dealing with these women. Why would you want me to bring that on stream? Do you guys not see how American women act already, right? I'm more likely to get an American woman on stream that's on vacation, because that's when they tend to be happy and not care about the dynamics going around them. But when you're talking about a regular, everyday American chick eating up basketball wives content and stupid shit Cardi B says, why would you want me to go out of my way to put that on stream? And this is what I be saying with some of y'all. Like, some of you guys got desert dick, not only in the sense of the fact that you're not getting no pussy, but you got desert dick in the sense that you can't even open your mind and see that there's a whole world out here for you to interact with. And you guys limit dudes to what you think they're able to do in the States and what they're not able to do in the States, when in reality, nobody is going to be the guy that they are in certain places everywhere. Like, Apple wouldn't be Apple if they were building all of their iPhones in the States. They have to take all of their materials out of Africa. If they weren't doing that, they wouldn't be Apple. So you take and you extract what's good and you build yourself up. If Colombia is the only place you get baddie Latinas, then let it be the only place you get baddie Latinas. Even though that's not true for me. I've had baddie Latinas my whole life, but If that's the only place you get baddie Latinas, bro, then that's the only place you get baddie Latinas. If Thailand is the only place you get baddie Asian chicks that actually like you, then let Thailand be the only place you get baddie Asian chicks that like you. The point is that you're able to be in these places while other people are not. You see what I'm saying? So it's imperative that we focus on what we're getting out of this shit versus what we need to be trying to compare and do in other places, and make sure you could do that in here and make sure you do that here. Nah. So I say all that to say this: if you're the guy, right, that you're gonna say, yo, fuck that, I can't have a peace of mind dealing with women in the States, I'm gonna wait 3-4 months until my next vacation to come in, bro, do that. If that's what gives you peace and makes you happy, do that. I'm not judging. I actually encourage it. You save yourself so much of a headache. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays I get scared for close friends of mine that might get a chick pregnant right now in the States, because I'm like, yo, bro, the likeliness that y'all are gonna work out year by year, those stats are always not in your favor. And the likeliness that she could put you on child support so that she has a guaranteed check coming in gets higher and higher and higher. Do I want men to go through that? You feel me? So people have too much shit to talk about the solutions men have, but they don't ever talk about the problem men have. Body language is the first language. Yup. Says, yo, I heard there was a curfew at the park and they're searching for ID. That's true. Redundant talking points. Go to somebody else's channel, bro. They're free picking people to show, but hours of operation still the same, excluding holidays. It be 3s in the States walking around like they're 10s. Yep. Experience with women is so important. Yeah, it is. A lot of dudes don't really have any real experience with like women, bro. So says 62K watching for real. Well, right now it says 71,000. And we have one person on Kick. All right. So now I want to basically go over some of the videos you guys sent me. Give me 1 second. I just wish these fake ass viewers would actually stay after the stream, because you guys know, like, the amount of people that click into the video is actually your total view count at the end of everything. So it's like, if 71,000 people are watching this live stream, it would actually be nice that those viewership stays, because the likes stay but the views don't, which is fucking stupid. Like, bro, you might as well just keep the views up there. But I get it. YouTube doesn't want to have to pay you for views that's not real, and somebody's buying up my live stream because you can't really control who sends bots to your live stream. Your video's open. If your video is open, anybody's shit can be botted, unfortunately. But how was everybody's week? I know we're here at the week. We're right